sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, hey, we got that set up too. You can go to reaver.one, click on the live stream, or you can find us on YouTube. Just search Reaver of Common Sense. And when you get there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. And last but most important, well, within the message of this, the Reaver store is now open. We have some great t-shirts, some great Second Amendment t-shirts, some funny election t-shirts. Sorry about that. And just go to reaver.one/shop. Show off that you support the show and that you support shrmedia.com. If you're watching the live broadcast, you'll notice I'll be looking over at the TV every now and then. We have the House Intelligence Committee meeting, and they have Director Comey, and they're asking him, what the heck's going on. Well, the Republicans are trying to find out what went on. The Democrats are basically sitting there kissing his backside, kissing up to him, telling him how great he is, and, oh, he's a Republican, look at that, they're turning against you. Well, you know what? Thank you for making the point. He is a Republican, because they always say it's a partisan issue. Well, they are attacking a fellow Republican because of his unjust decisions. They're going after a fellow Republican. They're not protecting him like the Democrats are. You have Democrat Representative Comey up there screaming about meetings on other stuff, wasting money. As the Democrats, how many billions of trillions of dollars have we wasted over the last 7.5 years? So don't sit there and cry about money when your party has wasted trillions of dollars. You're up there protecting, and you got Cummings who's up there screaming about all these injustices that go on nowadays. And they are screaming about this white privilege. You want to see what white privilege is? You want to see the true definition of white privilege? Look at what Hillary Clinton just did. Look at Hillary Clinton just broke the law and got away with it. Right there is your white privilege, people. But no, the Democrats want to ignore that one. And I really hate to say it's Democrats, because in social media the last day or two, I have seen a bunch of Democrats that are not happy. They're ticked off too. Because the fact that they can see the injustice that's going on. They can see that there's two levels of who has to follow the law. Trey Gowdy was up there, and he eviscerated Comey's decision As a fellow lawyer, he eviscerated it. He pointed out how, yes, maybe Hillary didn't lie directly to FBI, but she was lying on TV, blatantly lying, covering up, which shows intent. And the director of FBI even admitted to that. He admitted to the list of lies that Hillary told on national TV in committees. There is two sets of laws that are going on. This is not a Democrat issue or a Republican issue. This is, we have an elitist government, and these people are sitting up there and protecting her. And we got an issue that was brought up on the Sackhead show last night, and it's a great point. We've already acknowledged as a nation, as an FBI, they have no proof, but they said they know that she was hacked. And we have foreign governments that hacked her. And people think, oh well. No. Not oh well. She can now be very easily blackmailed with all that information, especially if she's elected president. She could be coerced into doing things that are not what's best for the government, the United States. She is at risk for being blackmailed. And that's one of the reasons why they talk about this and would portray us. Then he could have given up information to his mistress and it could have been used to blackmail. And they keep going to intentionally breaking the law. That has nothing to do with whether you intentionally or unintentionally broke the law. She broke the law. And that's what it comes down to. She broke the law. And there's no sane prosecutor. There's a lot of prosecutors that said they could have got a conviction on all that information. And since this information is, acceptable to be sent across unsecure servers, then all that information should be released to the United States citizens. I know it won't, but since it's not an issue, what she did, and she didn't break the law, then that really can't be that sensitive information that she sent across a server that was in her basement. And I'm getting tired of hearing this. Did not intentionally violate the law. If I went in front of a judge saying I did not intentionally murder that person, that is not an excuse. That is no way an excuse. There is several levels to murder, and you got intentional and unintentional. And that scares me that they're using it, because now we're setting precedents that we can have government officials saying, well, I did not intentionally go out to break the law. So they can go out and do whatever they want because they did not intentionally go out to break the law. But back to the Sackhead's point. It's scary because now she is susceptible to being blackmailed by other countries. What the heck? One of the representatives is going on a tirade of something else. Something about groups increasing violence. Well, I guess they need to start looking at the Democrat groups, because they're the ones that are increasing the violence day by day by day. You know, you had Sackhead Sean was on yesterday, and he was on his program last night. And I share his skepticism that we have a fair system anymore, and whether this election will go down fair or not. Maybe I'm ignorant, too innocent, which never thought I'd use those words. I still have faith in my fellow Americans that they'll see that Hillary Clinton is not out to do what's best for the United States. And that's what it comes down to in an election. Not what's best for a global world. Not what's best for a North American Union, how to get that. We need a president, and we're supposed to vote on being our presidents, on what they will do, what's best for the America, United States of America. And that's where it comes down. And I still have faith. I know there's this big divide between the parties. But I still have faith that Americans will still try to do what's right. You're still going to have some that are going to vote on what's between the candidates' legs and what is lacking between the candidates' legs. And that is the definition of sexism when you want to vote because of her being a female. And that's a whole different ball game to get into the discussion about. It's sexism that they're pushing because they want you to vote for Hillary Clinton because she's a woman. Because they want all this, oh my God, look at that, we voted in the first black president. Now we're going to vote in the first woman president. But we'll still hear how the country's a racist and a sexist, even if those two things were to happen. They're still going to chastise us and tell us how bad we are as people of the country, how bad America is. To tell you the truth, I'm getting tired of that. Tired of it. There's problems with this country, yes. In every country, there's issues. We're run by human beings. Human beings are not perfect. We are fallible. But I believe that this country the way our system's supposed to be set up is we correct those problems. And we've corrected them throughout history. Everybody talks about us being a slave. Our nation was based on slavery and all this. And, well, all the nations had slavery at that time. I'm not justifying what they did. But don't chastise us and try to make us out as this evil entity when slavery was an acceptable. Hell with it. There's still countries that think it's acceptable for slavery. The Middle East, Africa, parts of Africa. Slavery still goes on. No other country fought a war to end slavery. How many Americans put their lives on the line to end slavery? No other country has done that. But you want to talk about how bad we are as a nation and that we're based on evil things. It's the self-loathing that they're teaching. And it's the only way that they can get what they want done. And what I mean by that is, don't take my word for it. Go. Look up the North American Union. It is basically the European Union for Americas. North America, parts of, well, I guess you could say part of Central America. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's fact. It's what they want to do. And the only way they can do that is because you're going to do away with borders. You're going to do away with nations when you do that. And they need to stop patriotism. Because those that don't care about the nation don't care that there's no borders. It's not going to help jobs. It didn't help jobs in Europe. You're going to allow a mass influx of immigrants from all over, not just from this union. You're opening up to other nations to come flooding in here, flooding into Canada, I guess Mexico. You're going to allow criminals going across, cartels going across that border like there's no tomorrow. And that is exactly what Hillary is going to be pushing. And she's already been doing it. She's already talking it. She is not what's best for the country. She is what's best for her pocketbook. Nothing more, nothing less. And as I said, you want to see what white privilege looks like? Since the liberals love to push that issue, that there's this white privilege. Yeah. Just point everybody to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family. There's your white privilege. There is the white privilege. The Clintons. Above prosecution. Anybody else who had done what she did would minimum, have had a grand jury called. When they are on the border and don't know if they have enough evidence, they will call a grand jury to let them decide if there's enough evidence. Director Comey can say that he wasn't influenced. But his boss, men, the husband of the woman that's being investigated on a tarmac, privately, no security, all security was thrown out, and they have those discussions of family when security's around. But now, all of a sudden, they had to kick all security off the plane. Everybody off the plane so those two could have a private meeting. You don't have a private meeting simply because you want to talk about your grandkids. Simply because you want to talk about past attorney general. You don't kick people off an airplane to talk about your golf game. You don't. Any other person in this country, the prosecutor would have refused to see the spouse. Refused. Because they would have been thinking about their integrity of the case, their professionalism. And any prosecutor that would have done that would have lost their job for meeting the spouse of a suspect. And now that suspect who has leaked top secret. She had documents that were the highest classification. She had documents and discussed, quote unquote, CIA spies of their real names. And she spoke about it freely, spoke about operatives in certain countries where she was heading to, exposing who they are, endangering their lives, endangering their mission, whatever it might have been. She is now a danger to be blackmailed. And the Democrats say she would be a great president. I laughed yesterday. She was in Atlantic City. And she was running her mouth about how bad Atlantic City has become. And she's blaming Trump for screwing up Atlantic City. Trump doesn't sit on town council in Atlantic City. The Democrats do. The Democrats make up the politicians that sit on town council in Atlantic City. They're the ones screwed that city up. She talked about how Trump is a failed businessman because 4 companies declared bankruptcy. She tried to talk about how he screwed people over with money. Well, that's a failed understanding of bankruptcy. Bankruptcy does not mean that your debt goes away. Bankruptcy usually means a restructuring of debt, maybe at a lower rate, but a restructuring of the debt and restructuring of the companies so that they don't have to shut those companies down. It's a business strategy that a lot of companies use all the time. Kmart. Kmart did a bankruptcy, restructured their debt, bought out Sears, and was doing good for a long time. Companies file for bankruptcy all the time, not to get rid of debt. And she was trying to talk about that. That's pushing it. Misinformation. But even if 1 or 2 of those debts, he didn't pay back all of his debt. All right. Out of over 500 and some companies, he has a success rate of 96%, something like that, with his companies. I'll take that any day of the week. He has a higher success rate than she does in business. It makes me laugh. The misinformation. But she has to sit there and bash Atlantic City when it's a Democrat-run city. So instead of blaming one businessman, of how many businessmen are in that city? She's going to blame one for the destruction of the whole city. How about blaming where it goes? The politicians. The Democrat-run city. And she wanted to take some cheap shot at Chris Christie. Yeah, Chris Christie is a pretty bad governor. I don't like him. But New Jersey is a Democrat state. And they have not allowed a single thing that Christie wants to do through. They have obstructed everything going through. In fact, when certain social issues that they want to get done to buy votes gets turned down, they've then threw a hissy fit. And which is funny because you have the Democrats sitting on this committee going, when they don't like the results, they hold committees. Well, when you don't like the results, you go around the rules. Case in point, Obama trying to use executive order to create new law, which can't be done. And if you want an example, Amnesty. He decided to go around the rules. Well, they do that in New Jersey, and they wanted to bump the minimum wage up to $15 an hour, and it couldn't get passed. So now they're backdooring it and going to put it on the ballot. Now, anybody with an ounce of business sense knows if you leave it up to the employees to decide whether they're getting a raise, they're going to vote for a raise no matter what. So they know they're buying votes in the state of New Jersey. And there's people that are going to be gullible enough to buy into it. Go, oh, look at that. They want to give us a raise. They want us to make $15 an hour. I'm trying to remember the saying, how it exactly goes. Beware of the devil bearing gifts. So I've recently read kind of a joke. Not a joke. And it's not a threat. I'm going to start off with that. And it starts out, let me see if I can pull it up fully. It really hit home with what we have nowadays. It was dead on in this joke. Oh, wow. I'm late for break. I'll tell you what, we're going to go to break while I look for this. And you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, and Red Nation Rising. Oh, we can't forget YouTube and iTunes. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, at Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to reaver.one, click on the live stream, and don't forget to hit, you got it, subscribe. You can also go to YouTube and search Reaver of Common Sense. And last but not least, if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. That's reaver.one/shop. Or you can just go to reaver.one and click on the shop button. All right, I told you I'm going to do that joke in a minute. It's a little bit of a joke, a little bit not of a joke. So I was listening to the hearing why we were on break there. And I was looking at it, and they're saying how basically ignorance that she didn't know she was breaking the law, so she should not be held to that standard. How could we go after her when she didn't know she was breaking the law? Oh, there's an old saying that I've heard plenty of times, and give me 1 second because I'm going to give the legal what they say. Well, the computer's going to do it for me. Ooh. Let's see how it goes. All right, here we go.
Ignorance non excusat.
Let me play that again.
Ignorance non excusat.
All right. That's what ignorance. Where'd it go? Ignorance juris non excusat. I know I messed that up. Sorry about that. Now, what that is, it means ignorance is no excuse for the law. Or ignorance of the law excuses no one. Excuse me. Ignorance of the law excuses not. And ignorance of the law excuses no one. So what they're saying right now, and what Director of FBI has said, that ignorance is now an excuse of the law because she did not intend to break the law. She did not know she was breaking the law, so therefore they cannot convict her. So Congress, well, not Congress, it just baffles my mind. Hang on, no. I didn't know this, that during a time when the Senate Whitewater investigation was looking into the conduct of Bill Clinton and the First Lady Hillary Clinton, that James Comey was the special prosecutor for that case. He's the one that, well, basically there was a lot of people went to jail, but no criminal prosecution was in the cards for Hillary or Bill. So this man has let Hillary walk away before, and he's doing it again. That really... It's... I'm absolutely floored. All right, let's get to that joke. Actually, sugar. All right, let me do something else. I promised the unpleasant blind guy I would do this for him. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Huh. All right, I'm going to have to look for it again. Oh, I know where it went. Yes, I love talking to myself. I do it all the time. Come on. My phone's giving me a hard time with this. Then after this, we're actually going to get back on track with the show and go on with what some of the stuff that I wrote down to talk about. All right, here. I'm just not prepared, am I? I get an F for being prepared. Gimme. Let's check that out later. Chris Perantu's really pushing his leading from the front. And I don't blame the guy that he has an issue with Hillary Clinton. She kind of left him and his friends to kind of left him for dead. Come on. My internet's been weird, but here it is. Okay. The Unpleasant Blind Guy will be on the English Defense League radio program today at 3:30. It's Blog Talk Radio. I'm pretty sure if you search EDL radio show, which is English Defense League radio program, Dave, the Unpleasant Blind Guy, will be on today at 3:30. So, good program. Take a listen to it. And where are we? All right. Now let me get to that joke I've been talking about that I've keep shying away from. And again, this is not a threat against Hillary. This is a joke, and you have to listen to the whole thing to get it. So, while walking down the street one day, a corrupt Hillary Clinton was tragically hit by a car and died. Her soul arrives in heaven and is met by St. Peter's at the entrance. "Welcome to heaven," says St. Peter's. "Before you settle in, seems there is a problem. We seldom see a high official around these parts, you see, so we're not sure what to do with you." "No problem, just let me in," says Hillary Clinton. "Well, I would like to, but I have orders from the higher-ups. What we'll do is have you spend 1 day in hell, 1 day in heaven. Then you can choose where to spend eternity." "Really? I've made up my mind. I want to be in heaven," Hillary says. "I'm sorry, but we have our rules." And with that, St. Pete escorts her to the elevator, and he goes down, 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 down to hell. The doors open. She finds herself in the middle of a green golf course. In the distance is a clubhouse, and standing in front of it are all her friends and other politicians who had worked with her. Everyone is very happy and in evening dress. They run to greet her, shaking her hand, and reminisce about the good times they had while getting rich at the expense of the people. They played a friendly game of golf and then dine on lobster, caviar, and the finest champagnes. Also present is the devil, who is a very friendly guy who is having a good time dancing and telling jokes. They all have such a good time that before Hillary Clinton realizes it, it's time to go. Everyone gives her a hearty farewell and waves while the elevator rises. The elevator goes up, 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 and the door reopens in heaven, where St. Peter is waiting for her. Now it's time to visit heaven. So 24 hours pass with that. Hillary Clinton joining a group of contested souls, moving from cloud to cloud, playing the harp and singing. They have a good time, and before she realizes it, the 24 hours have gone by, and St. Peter returns. Well, then you've spent the day in hell and another in heaven. Now choose your eternity. Hillary Clinton reflects for a minute, and then she answers, "Well, I would never have said it before. I mean, heaven has been delightful. But I think I'd be better off in hell." So St. Peter's, town near me is St. Petersburg. We call it St. Pete. Got a habit of doing that. St. Peter's escorts her to the elevator, and he goes down, down, down to hell. Now the doors of the elevator open, and she is in the middle of a barren land covered with waste and garbage. She sees all of her friends dressed in rags, picking up trash and putting it in black bags as more trash falls from above. The devil comes over to her and puts his arm around her shoulder. "I don't understand," stammers Hillary Clinton. "Yesterday I was here, and there was a golf course and a clubhouse, and we ate lobster and caviar, drank champagne and danced, and had a great time. Now there's just a wasteland full of garbage, and my friends look miserable. What happened?" The devil smiles at her and says, "Yesterday we were campaigning. Today you voted. Vote wisely." November 2016. That is dead on. That is dead on about what we have. take care on who you vote for. And if you're a Republican and you got a problem with Trump, there's a possibility he may go, as you say, rogue and all that. And there's a possibility. So vote in a strong Congress that's willing to stand up to a president, because the one we have, well, they only stand up to Republican president or Republicans. Now, Hillary, we know what she's going to do. We know it's going to be the death of our Constitution. It's going to be the death of the rule of law. It's going to be the death of America if she is elected. And I'm not trying to be melodramatic here at all. I'm just trying to state the facts that, this country is going to be in severe trouble. So severe, I don't think we could survive. We know that's what will happen if Hillary is elected. We know that they are going to protect her like they have protected Barack Obama. So you may have issue with Trump. You may not like that he's abrasive. Well, I'll take abrasive over criminal. I'll take abrasive and whatever other description. See, for me, Trump is not abrasive because I'm used to it. I'm used to Trump and that type of attitude. I would rather deal with him. He'll have his finger on his button, and we're going to have a president, if it's Hillary, who was so careless with top secret information and can't be trusted with national security that she has exposed some of the toppest secrets of our country to foreign nationals. She used her devices in countries that are our enemies, an unsecure device in the nations that do not like us, that want our secrets. She is susceptible to blackmail. Trump, all his secrets are out there because he has been underneath scrutiny for God knows how many years by the media. And I sit back and I chuckle at it because they also, he's a reality star. He was a star before being on TV. Ronald Reagan was a television and movie star at the time. And I'm pretty sure if we had reality programs back then, there's a chance that he could have been a reality star back then. And where would we be today? He's loud. He's abrasive. He's been dead on about everything. Yes, he's made some comments that are questionable here and there. But he's got a ton of free press from it, hasn't he? Maybe he's a lot smarter than we think, and he's done these comments on purpose that rile up the press, that plaster him all over our TV. And the old saying is, bad press, how's it go? No press. Dang, I can't remember it now. But it's alluding to that there's no such thing as bad press. Press is press. She's spending God knows how much more than he is. Even in the primaries, look, he didn't spend nearly as much. Nowhere near how much Jeb Bush spent. And he dropped out within halfway through it. I'm not here trying to be a cheerleader to Trump. What I'm here for, if I'm going to be a cheerleader, I'm going to be a cheerleader for the United States of America. I'm going to be a cheerleader for the Constitution. And that's what I see we're protecting. He put out a list of who his Supreme Court choices would be. Hillary hasn't. Trump has talked about trying to make the country a better economical power. Hillary doesn't. She talks about how we need to worry about our trade with other countries and how it's going to harm them. She worries more about other nations than she does about the nation that she's supposed to be elected to. It's a scary time right now. I mean, I said it the other day. With this ruling from the FBI, it has put the American way, the justice, that there's one set of laws for everybody, our freedom, it's on life support right now. And I feel that electing Hillary, that will be the death blow. She will pull the plug on freedom. She'll pull the plug on this country. She'll pull the plug on our constitutional rights. And that's what we got to look forward to. I don't think Trump's going to be making war with everybody, and everybody thinks he's going to be all this. You don't get in the position he's in by being a child, by expecting everything to go his way. And what's funny is we have this administration talking about this, Hillary Clinton, Obama talking about it. What do you think the Democrats have done? And to quote Harry Reid and Obama, they want to compromise, but they want it their way. That's not a compromise. They've wanted it their way and their way only for 7.5 years. They have blocked any bill and every bill if it's not exactly how they want it. That's not the way our system works. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube, and now on iTunes. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens Sean Smith and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We're always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, or welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one and click on the live stream. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one/shop. The new store is open, and there's plenty of shirts to choose from. It is an absolute joke. Granted, nothing's going to get done in this committee meeting. Nothing seems to ever get done. The Democrats do a lot of talking. The Democrats do a lot of blocking. They make a lot of excuses. And life goes on. Nothing's going to get solved in this committee. Again, the Republicans are going to sit there and yip. The Democrats are going to obstruct everything. Talk how great Hillary is, because that's all they know how to do is protect their party. Their party has... It's kind of funny that this is the party that went after Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon, for a breakdown of it, is he spied on the Democrat Party. He had people break in to get these tapes, and he erased 18 minutes of his recordings that he did in the White House. And he was run out of office for that. He had to resign. We have a candidate who erased 30,000 government emails. And it's the Democrats protect that. The double standard that goes on in our government is absolutely a joke. And this is, it's Republican and Democrat alike. It is not what's best for the people anymore. It's what's best for their party. They don't think about what's best for the American people. They think, how can we use this to win elections? And that's all they care about. Period. Nothing else. The DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been slapped with a lawsuit. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the chairwoman for the DNC, is now the focus of a class action lawsuit. It appears that the email leaks from the hackers Guccifer 2.0 has opened a can of worms. The email revealed that, contrary to promises to the contrary, Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been anything but fair with the Bernie Sanders camp. It is interesting to note that there is still no honor among thieves. As written and reported by RT, supporters of a Democrat presidential candidate Bernie Sanders are in fight back mode after their candidate was unable to pass his opponent Hillary Clinton during the primary by suing Democratic National Committee Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz for fraud and negligence. Proving that they aren't just poor losers, the 104 Bernie backers are joined in the class action lawsuit by 17 others who claim the system of choosing a nominee for the party was rigged, and its chair, longtime Clinton insider Debbie Wasserman Schultz, is to blame. Filed by a Miami-based law firm in the Southern District Court of Florida, this week it claims Debbie Wasserman Schultz lied to both the DNC and Bernie Sanders supporters over her net neutrality instead of favoring Clinton. I find it funny. Basically, their candidate he got screwed over. He did. So they're going to start a lawsuit. Only in America. Now, I've lost a lot of respect for Darrell Issa, and he's the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. He gave an interview the other day about Barack Obama's willful disregard for the law as president and the FBI's decision not to charge Hillary Clinton for her actions involving top-secret emails. ISIS stated, "We are in a crisis because Hillary Clinton, if voters do not stop her, will be the next president of the United States. She will, in fact, on day one say, 'Pardon me,' and she'll mean it. She'll have pardoned herself. She will have, in fact, gone from being a criminal involved in a criminal enterprise." Obviously, Clinton Cash depicted that. "And somebody who flaunts the security laws and the privacy laws, the Presidential and the Federal Record Act, and gotten away with it." It is. And this is what's laughing out. They keep talking about intent. When 18 U.S. Code 793 subsection F talks about negligence, gross negligence. It does not speak of intent. And everybody's so got their heads wrapped around this intent, and they're forgetting that subsection F talks about gross negligence. And I'm sorry, intent still, I don't intentionally, well, I haven't done it, but how many people that drive drunk intentionally get in an accident? But they get charged for murder. They get charged with a lot of different stuff when they get in those accidents. And I'm not sticking up for drunk drivers. No way. I'm using that as example. It's... I don't know. We're in a bad state, people. We are in a bad state. I laugh thinking, if Trump wins the election on November 8th, you're going to see Hillary Clinton packing up real quick and out of this country. Because you know it's going to be a different outcome if he's elected. And he's going to be pushing for everything to be looked at again. And you're going to see a different outcome. Then you're going to see the Democrats cry. But then again, you got a lot of Democrats who say that if Trump is elected, he'll be running. They'll be moving out of the country. Great. Perfect. Again, I want to point out that, and I'm not exaggerating, I've seen a bunch of liberals, Democrats, and they're pissed off too. They are upset because they know that rule of law is going out the door. The country based on law is dying. And this isn't just Democrat versus Republican. It is his people. This is the people realizing, holy shnikes, we are in trouble. Why? Because people have brains and they can figure out that there's not. I'm going to stop using that term, white privilege. Because they can see that there's politician privileges. Ooh. Sorry, I got a thing about in my email about a house directly behind my house, and it's being construed as a drug house complaint. Ooh. No, I don't want that. That is not good. And there's been a lot of issues about that house behind me. A lot of issues. So that makes me want to pay attention to it more. Come on. Copy. Sorry about this. I want to send this to my wife real quick. I'm just... It's... It's disheartening what I see going on. And scary. But Donald Trump has said that, where is it? That nominee Hillary Clinton is guilty as hell over the email scandal. And Trump says the voters will ensure that Hillary will pay for her sins by rejecting her at the ballot box. It is a totally rigged system, Trump said when asked to react to the news that FBI Director James Comey announced that the Bureau would not recommend charges against Clinton on Tuesday. And last night, it was announced that the DOJ is not going to indict her. And it's just funny that over the weekend, this past weekend, she got caught, Loretta Lynch got caught having a private meeting with Bill Clinton. She comes out and says that she's going to abide by the FBI's decision. You know, she ran her mouth to that for like an hour. And then we get the FBI coming out unexpectedly. Totally unexpectedly. You know, everything was saying it was going to be 2-3 more weeks before they made their announcement. Unexpectedly, the FBI comes out and says, yeah, we're not going to recommend. She broke the law. We see she broke the law, but yeah, we're not going to recommend prosecution because she did not intend to break the law. And that still has me. And the system is rigged. It is 100% rigged. Doesn't mean we can't beat it. Because you can beat it. It's a big fight. But this is a fight worth having. It's But Trump went on to say she was guilty as hell. She's guilty as can be. And you look at what went on, and it's just point after point after point where she's guilty, including the missing 30,000 emails. 30,000 emails were wiped clean. The server. There's so many other aspects on which she's guilty. And there's so many other people who were guilty for far less. This is tremendous miscarriage of justice. She lied to Congress outright, lied to Congress. We have her on video lying to the people, but it's okay to lie to the people. Of course, that's not against the law, but it's against the law for us to lie to the government. The government can lie to us, but we can't lie to the government. Does anybody see an issue with that? And I'm not talking, can't talk about top secret information. It should be a crime for them to blatantly lie, just as Hillary has done. She lied under oath during testimony for the Benghazi. She lied. But yet, nothing is going to get done. Democrats will continue to block. FBI will continue to roll over. And Hillary Clinton will continue to lie her way through her career. She got kicked off of the Whitewater investigation. By a Democrat, she got kicked off because of her unethical ways. She lied. It was so bad that the Democrats kicked her off that committee. All she has done her whole career is lied. And yet people keep thinking she is a good person. It's sad. It's disgusting. I want to scream, yell. Oh. It is unacceptable. Then yes, I want to see Hillary pay for her sins on Election Day. And that means her losing her bid again for president. This woman is not fit. And I hate when people use, not fit to run for president, not fit to be president. This woman isn't fit. She isn't fit to, she's shown that she cannot be trusted with national security information. She doesn't know how to handle it. After all these years of being around national security, she all of a sudden now doesn't know how to handle it. Well, she knew how to handle it, and all she was trying to do was keep the American people from seeing what she was up to. She burned her schedules so no one could see what she was doing. And yet we're supposed to trust her. I'm just flabbergasted. Glenn Greenwald writes that Hillary Clinton proves America has two-tier justice system. One that is inordinately harsh to the common people, and one that is virtually inactive for the elites. From The Intercept, secrecy is a virtual religion in Washington. Those who violate its dogma have been punished in the harshest and most excessive manner, at least when they possess little political power or influence. As has been widely noted, The Obama administration has prosecuted more leakers under the 1917 Espionage Act than all prior administrations combined. Secrecy in D.C. is so revered that even the most banal documents are reflectively marked classified, making their disclosure or mishandling a felony. As former CIA and NSA Director Michael Hayden said back in 2000, everything's secret. I mean, I got an email saying Merry Christmas. It carried a top secret NSA classification marking. And that's where we got to step in as people and say, time out, no. People who leak to media outlets for the selfless purpose of informing the public. Daniel Ellsberg, Tom Drake, Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden face decades in prison. Those who leak for more ignoble or self-serving ends, such as enabling holographia, Leon Panetta, David Petraeus, or integrating oneself to one's mistress, Petraeus, face career destruction, though they are usually spared if they are sufficiently important in D.C. For low-level, powerless nobodies in D.C., even the more mishandling of classified information without any intent to leak, but merely to, say, work from home, has related and resulted in criminal prosecution, career destruction, and permanent loss of security clearance. This extreme, unforgiving, unreasonable, excessive posture toward classified information came to an instant halt in Washington today, just in time to save Hillary Clinton's presidential aspiration. What happened here is glaringly obvious. It is the tawdry but byproduct of a criminal justice mentality in which, as I documented it in a 2011 book with Liberty and Justice for Some, those who wield the greatest political and economical power are virtually exempt from the rule of law, even when they commit the most heinous crimes, while only those who are powerless and marginalized are harshly punished, often for the most trivial transgressions. And the writer of this article nails it. Perfect. And we've been seeing it. It's not hidden anymore. It's out in the open. There is the political elitists, the political privileged, and then the rest of us, the peons. Had someone who was obscure and unimportant and powerless done what Hillary Clinton did, reckless and secretly installed a shoddy home server and worked from top secret information on it, then outright lied to the public about it when they were caught, they would have been criminally charged long ago with less fuss and objection. But Hillary Clinton is the opposite of unimportant. She's the multi-millionaire former First Lady, Senator from New York, and Secretary of State, supported by virtually the entire political, financial, and media establishment to be the next president, arguably the only person standing between Donald Trump and the White House. And the joke goes on. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, iTunes, and YouTube. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confident, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the Unpleasant Blind Guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to SHR Media. Click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch broadcasts, go to Reaver.1 and click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, click subscribe. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1/shop. Got a lot of great shirts. I got a Reaver of Common Sense shirts, some comedy shirts, all the way down to Vote Monica. She knows how to get the job done when Hillary didn't. So, I'm not going to get into a huge today because I'm going to wait for the facts to come out, which nobody ever seems to do. But right now, everybody's jumping all over there seems that the cops in Minnesota have shot a black gentleman. So, everybody's going to jump onto the... Everybody's going to jump onto the whole, oh my God, police are out murdering blacks. But what I find funny is you don't hear people saying that the cops are out to kill whites. And more whites are killed by police officers. That's stats. Is there some unjust shootings? Yes. Is every time somebody getting shot, bad cop gone wrong, or bad cop, on the loose? No. Why don't we wait till we get the facts? Maybe if we start arguing with an officer on scene where tensions are running high, and I'm not justifying any shooting, but what I'm saying is arguing on scene is not the smartest thing to do. Wait till afterwards in court. If you think the officer mistreated you, file complaints. Don't... If someone's pointing a gun at you, you don't argue with them. Officers have a difficult job as it is. These cops are getting shot left, right, and center. They're getting attacked. They're getting assaulted. They're getting murdered. It's... I'm not going to say whether this cop was guilty or innocent, just as I wasn't going to say it when it came to Ferguson or Baltimore. Because now it's funny that there was video of the Baltimore officer that was driving, and everybody was saying he was brake checking, he was driving erratically, that's how he killed. It's so bad that the judge chastised the prosecutors in the middle of court. When the tape of the driver driving that transport vehicle, and showing that he went so far as to make wide turns not to jostle the people in the background. And the judge literally turned to the prosecution and said, "Didn't you know this tape existed?" Now it's coming out more and more that the facts were there with Ferguson. Freddie Gray had a habit of injuring himself in custody and then blaming and suing the city. They had already settled on one of his cases. I even said in it that they felt he injured himself, but they thought it would be easier to just settle the case. So it looks like Freddie Gray, how can he break his own neck banging his head? Very easy. He had a fusion done on his neck recently. And I know during that time frame because I had it done on mine. For those that are watching live. Where is it? There it is. Nice little scar right there. Right there. I had a fusion C4, 5, and 6. Okay. What they do is they remove the vertebrae. Or excuse me, not the vertebrae, the disc in between. And it makes your spinal column very vulnerable for a time period until that bone grows in there and fuses those vertebrae together. And if you're banging your head repeatedly against the wall, yes, you can sever your own spine because you're going to have bone pushing against that spinal cord. So, yes, it looks like Freddie Gray caused his own death, not the officers. And don't tell me he was in an area, a known drug area. He was a known drug dealer. He was a criminal, for crying out. Doesn't mean he should have died. I'm not saying that because that's where, well, you think he should have died? Oh, well, maybe he shouldn't have been banging his head. And this case that just happened in Minnesota, it's too fresh. I'm not going to judge either way until some facts start coming out. Yes, there is a video of the aftermath from someone that was in the car. That's real easy to talk about the aftermath. Where's the video? Do the cops have body cameras on? That's what I want to see before I make my decision. We're so quick to jump and condemn people. And everybody's so quick because, well, we have a president that has set a divide in this country. So every time something happens, it's going to be racism. And then I kind of snicker about this whole thing in Baltimore, because there was just as many black cops as there was white cops, but yet it was still racism. I don't hear the left freaking out about all these officers that are getting killed because of their actions. And I mean the actions of the politicians that are using these instances to garner votes. So, what do? They run their mouths and they endanger police officers. Surprise, surprise. It is an absolute sham. they are not, the left is not anymore care about facts. They are doing things that they can basically buy votes through pushing false narratives. They've done it repeatedly over the last 7 years. They pushed a lot of false narratives. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Yeah, and for those, I apologize last night for the South Side much. So, it was a couple of factors that caused me not to do the show. I was already in a little bit of pain. We had some weird weather in, and my phone's vibrating at me. Hang on. We had some weather incoming, which automatically puts me in bad pain. I didn't sleep much the night before, so I was tired as it was. But when I had to take the meds that I did to relieve the pain, because I also, dumb me really being dumb, I had some spare lumber laying around from where I built the desk over the last weekend for the SHR Media Southeast Studio, as it's being referred to. I wanted to build it's not the greatest stand. It's not pretty. It's not meant to be pretty. It does what it's supposed to do. The way I have here, let me show you what I did. All right, grab the camera, and I'll try to explain it. Let's see if I can. So there's the main monitor. I know it's hard to see. The main monitor is right there. Well, this monitor used to be up here on the left, and it was a little pain in the butt. So I built the stand. There you go. So that the monitors are basically above one another in front of me. So I did that. And it was a little bit of a pain in the butt. And it just, on top of it, not feeling good, weather, tired as anything. And when I took the meds, I was in la-la land. But, of course, I woke up like midnight. So I came out and I was listening to the Sackhead show. I jumped in there for a little bit to listen to them. So I apologize that I didn't get the show done. But what I did do is I played up the night before Tuesday when all the announcements came out. We did a special show. And so I just replayed that. And I know a few people were worried about me because they saw me do my day show and then I didn't show up. And I usually, if I'm not going to show up, I put something. I just was out of it. So, from now on, Crash, if something like that happens, Crash didn't know he had access to one of the pages. And yes, there is a page for Southside Mutts. It'll be posted there and on the Reaver of Common Sense Facebook pages. And thank you, Kel. It was really thrown together last minute and trying to get people together. I actually got a hold of a friend of mine that doesn't do radio or anything and asked him if he wanted to come on, just throw some information. I wanted to get people that are not in doing the shows to speak about it, too. I do even Reaver of Common Sense is because, well, I didn't feel I had a voice. So I wanted to get my voice out. I wanted it to be heard by everyone. I wanted to get my voice out massively. So that's why I did the show. But I also want to give that voice to people that normally don't have a voice. I actually have, sorry about that, I actually have a call-in number, but I stopped giving it out because not many people are calling in. I know it's daytime. I have the listenership, but I know it's daytime and people are working and so forth and so on, and it's hard for them to call in. And as soon as I get feedback that people really want to start calling in, I will take calls during the show. I have no problem. It's that simple. But I understand people are working. They don't always get to. So I just got a little bit of laziness, but I got tired of going over that, and it seemed like a waste at the time. But when people start showing interest that they want to call in, I'll put it out there. I have no problem. I'll take calls. I want to give an outlet for people to talk about what's going on. It affects everything that's going on in this country, affects them too. We have politicians that have these platforms to lie to the American people constantly. We need to have a platform for the people to speak back. And that's what I'm trying to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I know part of the show problem, I suck at marketing. Now, I've always been honest with everybody here, and you know, I will say what I'm thinking. And I know I've talked about how I'm going to tone certain things down. Yeah, I'm going to tone down the cussing, yelling, screaming. I can get my point across without doing that. I'm working on it. Let's just say that. Because one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because I do have chances to expand the show into other avenues. But the cussing and all that, I can't do because of the FCC regulations. So before I start talking about stepping up to those platforms, I want to get out of the habit of cussing and screaming and yelling. I want to make sure that I'm on the up and up. Not up and I shouldn't say that. That was wrong to put it that way, but you know what I mean. I gotta make little changes here. So that's what I'm working on now. Now I've gone on total rants today. One thing I want to go on, because I slammed House Speaker Paul Ryan over. Yeah, I wish we could make FCC obsolete, Kel, but I have some opportunities to take the show besides staying where I am now, but I have some chance that it can go terrestrial onto a couple AM stations, and, well, love it, hate it, or what, I would have to fall within the FCC regulations on how I phrase things. I've done it throughout my whole career. No, I mean, as an EMT and firefighter, the one thing, even police, when you're in a public service like that, you have to watch what you say, how you say it. You can't even talk political. You have to always be neutral when it comes to that stuff. You're not allowed to have an opinion, especially when you're at work. But even when you're out of work, you've got to watch what you say, because people will run to the townships you work for and scream that you're against. You know, if you have a Democratic council, you know, and you're speaking proudly about Republicans, you're attacking them, and you can lose your job over that stuff. And you don't want to say the wrong thing when you're transporting a patient or fighting a fire, and the person's of the opposite political spectrum as you. Some people get really nasty with that stuff, and they will attack. You know, try to make you lose your job. And it's not just Republican, Democrat. It's both of them. And thank you, Kel. That makes me feel really good when people, you know, when you make that comment. And I've talked to a couple people. I'm like, yeah, she's made that comment and compared me to Michael Savage. You know, I take it as a compliment. Never heard the man, but I'll take it as a compliment. And one of the things that was pointed out recently to me, I know I'm jumping subjects. I'll get back to the firefighter EMS thing. Is Mike Rowe never screams, yells, cusses. And he gets his point very, very well across. Now, I'm not as eloquent as Mike Rowe. I'll never be as eloquent as Mike Rowe. But it was pointed out how he doesn't have to scream, yell to get his point across. And, well, he has a solid point on that when it was pointed out to me. And Mike Rowe, I do respect that guy. The guy's intelligent. Oh, he's what I would call a wordy person. And yeah, it was just pointing out. And one of the things that I didn't think of with, the screaming and the yelling that I do, the level of the sound is going up and down, up and down, up and down. And especially when you're talking about internet broadcasts, it's you can have issues as it is. So if you're listening at home or at your office and I'm screaming and yelling, then speaking normal, well, you might have to shut that program off so it doesn't interrupt other people. So I do apologize for all that. I wasn't thinking of that aspect. But back real quick because I only got a couple minutes. With EMS fire, you can't have a political opinion. You got to be very neutral because you're also dealing with townships, especially when you become a chief officer, and you don't have the ability to be political. You got to be very neutral. You got to kiss butt with them. So for all these years, I wasn't able to be political. I really had to keep my mouth shut. And also, I didn't have an interest because I couldn't talk about it at that time. Well, I want to be the voice now. I want to be the reason. And I want to give that voice to the people. I always have, always will. Let me try to get this in real quick, too, because Paul Ryan, I slammed him because he had caved into the Democrats and was going to give them a vote. Well, I don't know if that was false information put out or what, but he has said now he is not going to give in to the guerrilla tactics of the Democrat Party. And there will be no vote on new gun control unless they go the proper way. And they're looking at how they can censor and punish the House members for breaking the rules if they continue to do so and disrupt business in the House. And they've been publicizing that. They are going to continue to disrupt House business. So they're looking at how to deal with that. Now, Representative Lewis and Larson, who are heading up that Congressional Black Caucus campaign of being disrespectful, they said they met with Ryan, and Ryan was respectful and courteous, and they don't agree with him, but they did say he was respectful and courteous. Now, you have other groups that have met with the Sergeant at Arms to discuss how to stop a repeat of those antics and absolutely appalling tactics that have been used lately. So if they want to get the 280-some petition votes or put it through committee, because what they want to push failed in a bipartisan way during committee. So now they're pulling these stunts to, politicize it, to try to buy votes. Look what we did. No, it failed. Those bills failed in committees bipartisanly. Not just Republican, bipartisan, it failed. So, all right, it is that time. And I'm actually looking forward because my wife comes home tonight. And I've been alone by myself since Saturday to my own devices. And it'll be good to have some adult supervision. I want to thank everybody. It's an honor to have you here. And I think Monday we're going to start giving that phone number back out. And anybody that wants to call in, you're more than happy to call in. Let me get it. Remember, this is the Reaver of Common Sense show right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising Network, YouTube, and iTunes. See you tomorrow. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.